Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Setback Fuel My Faith podcast, where I will be interviewing a guest from the state of Delaware who is doing positive things in our community in honor of Black History Month. Today, my guest is confidence coach for women, 𝗧Pritchett. Welcome, Tara, to the Setback Fuel My Faith podcast.
Hello.
I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to speak with me today about the upcoming Barnes & Noble event that you are hosting. You're definitely hosting. I'm so excited to have you today on our show. So I'm excited about that. In honor of Black History Month, confidence coach for women, 𝗧Pritchett, has invited me and 9 other Black women authors to join her for Black Women, Words and Wisdom book signing at Barnes & Noble in North Wilmington, Delaware on Sunday, February the 23rd at 1 p.m. I am truly excited about this because this is something that I desired when I launched my very first book project, volume 1 of Married to the Ring with 11 contributing authors back in February 2017. And so February 2018, actually, the years are just going fast. And so Tara, before we get into the premise of the event, can you share with our listeners about your Confidence for Coach for Women organization? Can you share that with our listeners today?
Of course. Thank you, Tanya. So I started my business, 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗔𝗑�็ about 7 years ago. And our mission is to evolve and grow so they can manifest the life, love, and businesses they desire and that they deserve. So I started this business after I felt as though I had a period of time where I felt like I was settling, I was playing small, I was shrinking myself, and I was afraid to fully own my voice and own who I was. And then I also felt as though I was really struggling in my relationships with men. So from that experience, I took myself on an inner healing journey. I hired my own coaches. I read a lot of books. I did a lot of journaling. I did a lot of time where I had a lot of quiet time and I was with God. And from that, I learned so much wisdom and I was able to shift. I was able to start a business. I was able to finally get the relationship that I desired and that I deserved. And then I was also able to make leaps and bounds in my career as well. So as a result of having all of that wisdom, I started a blog. And from blogging, I had so many comments from women who had so many questions about the things that I would share that I decided to become a coach. And I specifically chose confidence coaching because the questions that I would get over and over and over again always seemed to stem from a sense of unworthiness or a sense that women felt like that they were not good enough. So just like I play small and I shrunk myself and I settled, I saw that as a trend and as a pattern. So as a result, I decided to create my business, Unleash Your Fear, so that I can help women let that leash go that I feel like we're so tied up to with our insecurities and our flaws so that we can unleash ourselves into the next version of ourselves and finally have the life and love we desire.
Listen, Tara, you said a mouthful. I think that, like, I'm over here in my seat, just sitting here, just hopping, trying to contain myself, because you said some key words here. And one is unleash your fears. So I was like, oh my gosh. And then stop playing small. So tell me how unleashing your fears and stop playing small correlate. How did they cross over? Like, how did you get that name Fierce? Because when I look at you and I follow you through your social media platforms, I'm just like, I just see Fierce all over the place. Like the level of confidence that just moves women.
So the correlation between the two is that when you feel as though you're letting your insecurities, you're letting your flaws, you're letting your childhood wounds, you're letting a poverty mindset or a lack mentality, if that is running your inner beliefs, then oftentimes you oftentimes do feel stuck. You oftentimes do feel like you're lacking clarity. So as a result, it's easier to settle because that's safe. It's easier to play small because that's comfortable. It's easier to be with a man that's emotionally unavailable because you're probably emotionally unavailable too. So it's safe, it's comfortable, and it's almost as if you think about a dog and the dog has a leash and they can't go any further than where they are. That's oftentimes where I find my clients when they come to me and they feel stuck in that place and they're unable to make bigger moves and to do bigger things outside of the realm of that comfort zone because it's almost as if they're leashed up. So by going through the process of working with me, I help women really examine those patterns, their daily patterns and habits, but most importantly, their beliefs. Because your beliefs, in my opinion, are really running everything that's going on
Absolutely.
in your outer world, right? So your
Hmm.
public world is never going to go higher than the private world in which you are establishing yourself with your daily day-to-day habits, with your relationship with your spirituality, or your habits with your finances, or your patterns when it comes to eating, or your patterns when you're out on dates or you're in romantic situations. So if you don't unleash certain things that have had you tied up for a long time, you're going to constantly attract to yourself, but also entertain things that are not fully in alignment with who you really are and what you really actually desire. So it's imperative that you get unleashed and you put the leash down, so you can walk boldly and you can be fierce and you can walk in the fierceness that you know you've been called to do on a daily basis.
I love it. I'm going to say, or I echo your words, put the leash down. So what's holding you back, girl? I just
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love what you're doing. You know, Married to the Ring, we focus on teaching individuals how to walk boldly out of hard times and into winning seasons. And so just to be able to see you as an individual also teach key principles for women from becoming unstuck so that they can fulfill their promise, but most importantly, to remove from complacency. You know, like that
Hmm.
mindset, I have to stay here because this is my environment. No, you don't. No,
Hmm.
you don't. No, you don't. So I'm loving that. I love what you do, Tara, in the community. I love everything about your organization. So now let me just, this is the key. The real reason why we're here today is what inspired you to start, or rather host this event, Black Women, Words, and Wisdom book signing, over there at Barnes and Noble. How did the event come about? And why did you even choose Barnes and Noble?
Excellent question. So, in the midst of me blogging and creating my business, I decided to write a book, Born Fierce: How to Unleash the Confident Woman Within, which I finally published in 2017, because I wanted to allow more women to get the knowledge and wisdom that I was sharing. And I always had a dream of writing a book. So, and a part of my dream was to always have a book signing at Barnes and Noble. And when I went to Barnes and Noble last year, when I walked through, I saw a poster for a book signing for the local author that I was familiar with. And I think in our minds, we always believe that when it's a bigger, larger brand, that we think that they are only for certain types of people or certain types of authors. So it never dawned on me that I could be the person that could reach out and figure out how I could be a part of having my own book signing at Barnes and Noble. So once I saw her poster, I decided to reach out to them and I asked them what local author opportunities they had. And they said, in fact, we have a local author showcase. Would you like to join? They said, we don't have any for the rest of the year, but when the next year comes, we would love to see if we can fit you into one of our author showcases. And I said, you know what? Perfect. So, and I had my first book signing at Barnes and Noble about a month ago from today, and it was highly successful, right? It was three authors total that actually showed up out of the five. It was like a snowy day, it was kind of cold. So some of the authors were from out of town and they weren't able to make it in. So it brought us down to just three authors. And for the 2 hours that I had the book signing, I would say that I had the absolute most people coming through and I had the most book sales, right? The other authors, they had a couple of people come through. I don't think they were even able to sell any books. And from that experience, it taught me a lot about marketing. It taught me a lot about branding. It taught me a lot about the importance of the connections that you have with people, because people are going to show up for you when you showed up for them. And if you are
Absolutely.
marketing and putting yourself out there where you're unapologetic and unstoppable and unleashed, if you will, then people are going to show up. And people did. And Barnes and Noble took note of that. And I leveraged that once I left. But since I had the most sales on that day, and it was obvious that people really were connecting with me in the store, right? People could visibly see it. And I took a bunch of photos to capture that. So when I left, I said, how could we do something like this again? But how can I include other authors, as well as having even more diversity to come into the store. So I decided to pitch an idea to Barnes & Noble about having a Black History or Women's History event. And I knew they were coming up fairly quickly, so I knew I had to move on it quickly. So I leveraged the great success that I had, and I pitched that to the Barnes & Noble store in Wilmington, Delaware. They're at a new location now. And the manager, she absolutely loved the idea. And I said, you know what, and this time, I not only am pitching the idea, but I want to be responsible for kind of curating who the authors are going to be. Like, it's not going to be a random pool of people. I want it to be more focused. And that's how I created Black Women Words and Wisdom. And from there, I put out an application to gather women to have the opportunity to apply to become a part of this fantastic author showcase in celebration of Black History Month and the writing that they've done over the last couple of years.
This is just absolutely amazing. I mean, to our listeners today, this is absolutely amazing what Tara Pritchett is doing, especially in the state of Delaware, in the city of Wilmington. I ask that you come see us, you know, along with 9 other Black women authors during Black Women Words and Wisdom on February 23rd at 1 p.m. We ask that you stop by our table, support each woman present. I will be having my book titled The Setback Fueled My Faith and Married to the Ring, Volume 1. Also, as you've heard Tara mention, her book, Born Fierce, Unleash Fierce. Is that correct, Tara? Am I saying that correctly?
It's Born Fierce, How to Unleash the Confident Woman Within.
Right. So we want to see you there. You know, come take photos with us, network, and more. And I ask that you do not forget to subscribe to my email list at www.marriedtothering.com. You can locate us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn at Married to the Ring, or YouTube at Married to the Ring. How can they reach you, Tara? How can our listeners reach you?
So you can also subscribe to my email list and learn more about me on @𝗪𝐿𝑖cia_HIRS.com. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube as well at Unleash Fierce, or by using my name, Tara Pritchett.
Awesome. So I today just want to say, you know, thank you, confidence coach for women, Tara Pritchett. You're absolutely amazing. Married to the Ring wants to acknowledge you and will endorse you in your endeavors and what you're doing for the young girls, as well as women across the United States and eventually as well as the world. So we're excited about that. We hope to see you all at Barnes & Noble on February 23rd. Once again, we thank Tara Pritchett for joining us on today, and we want each and every last one of you guys to have a wonderful week. We ask God to continue to bless you, and please continue to follow us. Thank you, and have a great day.